Welcome to today's episode. We're diving into the world of clinical research, specifically how new treatments and therapies are tested in human subjects. It's a fascinating but often misunderstood area, don't you think?
Absolutely. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes before a new drug or treatment can make its way to the public. It's not just about developing the drug. It's also about ensuring it's safe and effective for people.
Right? And that's where clinical trials come in. I mean, without human trials, we wouldn't know how a treatment really works in real-world conditions, right?
Exactly. But there's a lot of rigorous planning and oversight before a trial even begins. First, researchers need to go through a phase of preclinical testing, usually on animals, to gather some preliminary data. Once that's passed, they move to human trials, which can take years.
So how does the process actually unfold once human trials start? I know there are different phases, but what's the key difference between them?
Great question. There are typically 4 phases. Phase 1 is all about safety. It's usually a small group of healthy volunteers, and the main goal is to figure out the dosage and identify any side effects. Phase 2 is where researchers start testing the treatment on patients who actually have the condition the drug is meant to treat.
And that's when things start getting a bit more interesting, right? Since you're testing on the people who will actually benefit or suffer from the treatment.
Exactly. And then comes phase 3, which is the big one. It involves a larger group of participants, sometimes thousands, and it's where researchers look for more detailed information on the treatment's effectiveness and any long-term risks.
Phase 3 really separates the hopefuls from the non-starters, right? It's where we see if the treatment holds up over time in diverse populations.
Yes. And then phase 4 is after the treatment has been approved and is out in the market. This phase continues monitoring the drug for any rare side effects that might not have shown up in earlier phases.
So there's a lot of scrutiny, even after approval. But what about the ethical concerns? I know clinical research can raise a lot of questions about consent, especially when human subjects are involved.
That's a huge issue. Ethical guidelines are strictly followed, and participants must give informed consent. They need to know exactly what they're signing up for, the risks involved, and any potential benefits. It's a crucial part of maintaining trust and integrity in the process.
I can't imagine how difficult it must be for patients to make that decision, volunteering for a trial with an unknown treatment.
It's definitely a tough decision. But for many, it's also an opportunity to contribute to science and help others who might be in the same situation down the line. Plus, clinical trials sometimes offer access to treatments that aren't yet available.
That's true. It's a bit of a balancing act between risk and hope. But ultimately, clinical research is what drives forward medical progress.
Definitely. Without it, we'd be stuck in the past. It's how we find solutions to some of the most challenging health issues. But, as always, there's a need for constant vigilance to make sure the process remains ethical and transparent.
That's the key takeaway, I think. Safety, ethics, and transparency in the pursuit of better treatments for all.
Exactly. It's about pushing boundaries, but with care. It'll be exciting to see how clinical research continues to evolve, especially with new technologies like AI being integrated into the process.
I agree. It's a dynamic field that's only going to get more interesting. Thanks for the insightful conversation today.
Absolutely. Anytime.